All right. No, I'm excited about this.
Yep.
You're talking. It's Wyatt Crespi. I think. Is that really you? Is that your hair?
Yep. In flesh and blood, it's me.
Have you done? Are you doing this to make your dad jealous?
I think so. Yeah. I've always kind of wanted to get back at him for that, so
Yeah.
I had to grow it out a little bit.
Yeah. For people don't, your dad when he was young had a full head of hair, but he's
Yeah. I hope I get to keep this though.
And no, it's just wonderful to see you. I know you're from De La Salle, but on the back of the wall there, tell people where you're at right now. I mean,
I'm at Wake Forest University right now, Winston-Salem.
right, and you're right there. You're playing to tell people what's going on. We're not playing in California. You're playing.
Yep. ACC's playing. SEC's playing. We got Clemson our first game.
Exactly. And we were supposed to talk yesterday, but you had like a defensive meeting. You need a defensive meeting. Tell people that don't know. I mean, Clemson's the best team in the country.
Yep, Clemson. Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, the national champion runner-ups last year. I mean, they're a phenomenal team, and yeah, it's been a grind. I mean, we're in the middle of like tail end of camp right now, so it's been wild.
Right, and also playing at De La Salle, you know two of the guys there at Clemson. Tell people about this.
Yeah, I know DJ Uigalele, and then I also know Joseph Ngata.
Right. No, and you're like me. I know Joseph Nagata as number 10.
Yep, number 10. He was a dog that game.
Right, but tell people about the scouting at De La Salle. You don't know their names, correct?
What's up?
No, at De La Salle, as good as Nagata is, in the scouting report, he's not Nagata. He's referred to.
Yep,
he's number 10.
Yep, he's number 10.
And maybe that's also a restart because you might be you knew that you might be doing the scout there, but at De La Salle, tell people who the scout, your dad, how many hours would he put into the scout on Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, he would pour in. It wasn't just that. It was 7 days a week. He would pour in countless hours, like 3-4 hours a day, just getting that scouting report like perfect. So he really dedicated himself to that. He took a lot of pride in it.
And people that don't know, I mean, that made a huge difference. I mean, all teams do this, but De La Salle runs the plays for the other team, and it's your dad who watches the film, puts it together, and then take it full circle. Your dad was on Ladd's first team.
Yep, he was on Ladd. He was in the inaugural team of Ladd, so he's been with the program. He's been with the program since he was in high school. Like, he's been really close.
Right, and maybe that's it for you. What what are your earliest memories of De La Salle?
De La Salle, I mean, it's been since I was like 5 probably is when I really first remember it. I mean, Ladd is my godfather, so I've been with the program for a while.
Right. Well, maybe what was it like meeting Ladd? I mean, he would have held you as an infant, but what's your earliest memory of Ladd?
Earliest memory, I think he came to our house when I was like 8, and that's like the first time I really remember meeting him.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he's a really cool guy, like really down to earth, kind of like just very pious man, I'd say.
Exactly. And for me, it's interesting. It's just he's not intimidating, but he's naturally, but he's a nice guy. I mean, explain that to people. I mean, so you met him when you were 8. When did you realize that he was the football coach and learn more about him?
When I was in middle school, that's when I really started learning about the program and how good we were. So that's when I really started hearing about kind of the legend of Ladd. That's kind of when it really started.
And would your dad talk about when he played, or that wasn't talked about?
Oh no, he mentioned the times he played, all the friends he had, and who they played and all that. So yeah, He talked about a lot.
Yeah, playing on Saturdays, no lights. Yep. Yeah, and then also you're Orinda. Were you going to go to De La Salle all the time, or was Miramonte in the picture?
Both of my sisters went to Miramonte, but it wasn't really in the picture for me. I knew since I was in elementary school, I was going to De La Salle. So
right, and for you, as I said, I just remember meeting you, and that's the neat thing, for everyone knows Dorian, everyone knows Shamar, and for me to meet the linemen, you guys have personality, and also, do you remember it was like the last practice, and we were all kind of milling around, and there was the sunset. Do you remember that night?
Oh, yeah. I think I remember the photo you took. That was a phenomenal photo. Thank you for that.
And it was. I mean, we knew the season when things were changing, and I think I made a comment that the world was changing. I mean, I didn't see COVID coming, but I meant that was really neat that we were able to spend those last moments together because there really hasn't been a practice since then.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna stick with me for a while. I mean, that's one of the last really bright memories I had of that season. That I'll always remember that.
Wow, that makes me feel good. I'm trying to think. The guy I always saw was C-Strand one of your best friends? Whenever I saw, yeah, tell people
Yeah,
who C-Strand
Clayton
is.
C-Strand. I love Clayton.
And it would tell people who C-Strand is.
C-Strand, well, he was our tight end my junior senior year,
Right.
and then he went on to play Division I rugby at Cal.
Right, exactly. Yep. And then for you, how did the Wake Forest come into the picture? Because people down here don't know this. It's like good academics, and it's also good football.
Yeah. So the way it came about was I was kind of like messaging teams, and I had been talking to Louisville, another school in the ACC, and they had offered me a PWO, and so I was really juiced about that. But I was also looking at other schools in the ACC like Duke, Wake Forest, and I hit up Wake Forest on Twitter, and I sent them my film, and they gave me a chance. And as soon as I got it, I knew because of the academics and just the football team, I was going to go there.
Right. And what are you going to be studying at Wake Forest?
I'm trying to major finance right now, so I'm trying to go to the business route.
That's good. And then I'm joking. I mean, are you going to be able to see through your helmet?
I mean, I put it back a little bit, but
that's okay. Okay, good. Okay,
yeah.
Because that's a sure way to get a concussion if you can't see what's going on. So
sometimes it gets down there. It's a little hard.
I thought my hair was. I don't have to get a haircut after talking to you. And then I looked. Wake Forest. I think it's Dave Clawson. Tell people who that is. Your head coach. He's built something there.
Yeah, no, he's really. It reminds me like looking at the early days of De La Salle. Like he's really instilled a really good culture out here. Like he's a very fast tempo, fast paced guy. He's also just like Laddister, really detail oriented. So what he's doing out here is pretty phenomenal. He turned like a 3-win team into a perennial bowl winner. So he's a phenomenal coach. Right.
And does he know about Laddister? Does he know about Allenbaugh? Has he talked to you about De La Salle?
Oh yeah, he's talked to me a little bit. He used to recruit that area when he was at Villanova, so he knows the area pretty well.
Very cool. And the other thing I was thinking about, tell me what's going on where, as I said, well, actually, you wanted to also know about the fires. I mean, it's bad. I mean, we had my sister lives in Virginia, and they would get the storms, the lightning storms. We got one last Sunday, and that's what started them. Do you ever remember a lightning storm when you lived out here?
Maybe once. Like out here, it's like every week we get the flash flood lightning storms. But when I saw what was happening in California with the weather, I was shocked. And then the fires, I've seen some pictures of the smoke, but it looks really bad out there. I mean,
right?
everyone out there right now.
No, we're not in trouble, but it's bad, and that's it. So as I said, when I visit my sister, it's hot, and then the lightning comes. It's normal. When it happened here, I couldn't understand it. And then worst of all, the lightning hit. And I'm up in the Fairfield. There's fires up here. There's fires in Santa Cruz. There's fires down in Livermore. Yeah, it's bad. But what's going to happen? Are we going to get hit by a meteor? I mean,
that just seems like the next logical step. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of bad things have happened this year. And even going back to that, I talked about a photo we took. That would have been in December. The other memory I have is the banquet, which was late January. And I think about that. We sat there down at Black Hawk at the museum. We sat next to people. That morning, I think Kobe Bryant died, and so we were concerned about Kobe Bryant, but COVID wasn't even mentioned, correct? I mean, it was just business as usual. I mean, tell people, when did you become aware of COVID?
I'd seen it on the news. I didn't think it was going to be anything like massive. I thought it was going to be like the SARS epidemic where it's like 2,000 people. But once it started spreading to other countries and you saw it in Europe, I knew it could get really bad. I mean, it did.
So right. And it happened quickly, as I said. And another memory I have is being at De La Salle, like for a baseball game in early March against St. Francis, and it was rained out. So again, we were concerned about the rain, and then it wasn't until I remember the one thing that got on my radar when the Warriors said, it was like on a Tuesday, they said, okay, our next game on a Thursday, nobody is going to be at the arena. And it never got to that point. Remember Rudy Gobert on the Wednesday? Yeah, exactly. And then you were in school. What was the progression that happened at school?
I mean, school, when the rumbling first started happening, everyone was like, oh, it's not going to happen. We're not going to get canceled. I mean, it'll probably be fine. And then like day by day, you could see the attitude kind of changing at school. Everyone was kind of like, oh, this might get serious. And then we got to that it didn't feel like a last day, but we all kind of knew it was the last day. And then school just canceled after that, and it just took us all by storm, like by surprise.
That's interesting. So did you like say goodbye to people that day, or what were you doing on that day?
Not really. They said that we were gonna have like 2 weeks off to like see, like kind of test the waters, but then after like a week, we knew that it was too bad to go back. So
right. Yeah.
yeah.
For me, another thing was when the NCAA not only canceled the basketball, but then they canceled like the spring, the baseball. So this was like March, and they were canceling stuff in June. I was thinking, what's going on? But they knew this was going to continue. And then for you, it was Wake Forest. When did you get to Wake Forest?
I got here in July.
Wow. Okay. So have you been there? Have you come back at all? Have you been there? Okay.
Yeah, not at all. Like, they really don't want us to like leave. So the way the university is trying to create like a bubble with the student population, which I don't really know how that's going to go, looking at like NC State and all that. But the football team, we've done a really, really good job at creating our own little bubble within all that. And that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been like kind of limited to our dorms. We've been avoiding social contact with anyone else, wearing our masks.
No, because that's the key is you mentioned NC State. I think it also happened down the road at Carolina, UNC, where they did. You tell people that it was the students. The students were having parties, and then they had to cancel the classes. So are you online, or are there some classes? How does it work at Wake?
There's some face-to-face classes, but looking at how the students are kind of handling it, I don't know how long that's going to last. So we'll see. But there's some face-to-face.
Right, that's it. So the football players are more proactive than the regular students. And then for you, do they test you before practices, or how often do they test you?
So we've been getting tested like every other week so far, but starting this week, we're going to be getting tested 2 times a week, and we may even go up to 3 times.
Right. And as I said, literally, we're talking on a Monday, it's 3 weeks until Clemson. And as you mentioned, I should have guessed it was national TV. It's probably the biggest game on, September 12th. And tell people, will there be a few fans or no fans?
As of right now, no fans. They're trying to work on getting like parents there as like essential people, but that's not a guarantee. But as of right now, from what I know, I don't think there's any fans.
Right. And then for you, you're a young guy. Are you on scout, or what are you doing right now?
Yeah, right now it's looking like I'm going to be on scout. Our D line here is probably, I'd say, one of our best position groups. It's like a really deep lineup. So yeah, right. I'm just developing right now.
No, you're exactly. You're learning the scout. Have you told them about the conch shell?
The conch shell? I haven't brought the conch shell here yet. Maybe when I get a little older, I'll start the tradition.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but tell people what that is.
So we have a conch shell. It's kind of like the rallying cry. We have someone blow it before like every scout team session, and that's kind of like the rallying cry of the scout team.
Right. That was at De La Salle. And
De La Salle, yeah.
Did your dad start that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, because I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in Hawaii, and my dad was there with me, and so we all that stuff like conch shells, all that, and he brought it from there. So he's always had a conch shell on him. So he decided to make it a little more fun by bringing that in.
It's great. I mean, and I'm trying to think the big time football. And even I watched a video of Wake. It looks like you guys practice indoors.
It depends. Yeah, sometimes we practice indoors, sometimes we practice in our outdoor, but it really depends on the weather. Like weather here is, compared to California, is like insane. Like I've never seen anything like it. So it really depends.
Right, but it's just the fact you have the option at De La Salle. At De La Salle, you could practice outdoors or you could practice outdoors.
Basically, yeah. Our facilities here, they just built a new sports performance center last year, and it's phenomenal. Like they took a really good care of us.
Right, and then I also looked at the schedule. I'm like a Wake Forest expert. After 2 weeks after Clemson, Isaiah Foskey and Notre Dame come.
Yep, Notre Dame.
Have you guys talked about this?
I haven't talked about the game so much. I've been talking with him mainly how his team's like handling the situation right now, and from what I've heard, they've done a pretty good job. Yeah,
no, and that's it. And I think being on the scout team, you definitely will be there for the home games, correct? I mean, is that how it works? Yeah. So I mean, you don't have to. But that's it. Clemson, a home game, you'll be there on the exactly. And then that's Trevor Lawrence. Who else? I mean, they have any guys that haven't gone pro are still there. I mean, they got Dynamite talent.
Yeah,
who they have?
Yeah.
And tell me some of the names. Who are some of the names on Clemson on the offense?
Oh, like Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, DJ will be on the sideline, but he'll be a big name soon.
Right.
Brian Breesy, big time recruit.
Is Nagata on the scouting report, or is he still coming up?
I think he's playing. From what I saw last year, he did pretty well in a couple games. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys going to fly Amir Wallace in to guard him?
I hope so. I mean, he did a great job against him.
You ever tell people about that, the Clemson game, not Clemson, but the Folsom game, what Amir did?
Yeah, Amir, he really stepped up to the challenge. I mean, he limited him to, what was it, 1 catch, 10 yards? And this is like the number 2 receiver in the country. And no one really heard of Amir before that. But then after that, really people kind of saw, like, this kid's legit. This kid can play.
And also the score of that game, 14-0. I mean.
14, yeah, it was a defensive shootout. Like, our defense really stepped up that game.
And also, it was the first game. It was like it was like the NorCal championship in the first game.
Yeah, it was who's going to go to state was the first game. That was the decider.
Right, and I'm trying to think. Also, as I said, you're like one of the smartest guys I know. You know, I mean, has it always been that way?
Smartest? I don't know. I've kind of, I feel like, but I don't know how to say it. Like, my dad is probably the smartest person I know. Like, personally.
I agree with that. I mean,
yeah. No, he's levels above me. I mean, I don't think I can touch that, but I try to like follow in his interests and stuff like that. I'm interested in a lot of the same stuff he is, so he'll tell me and kind of teach me stuff if I ask him. So it's kind of where I got a lot of my info.
Is that the business? What's he interested in?
Business. Before he was business, it was physics. He was an engineer, so a lot of his engineering stuff I like. And also, electrical engineering.
He's also a wealth of knowledge. I mean, he knows. I mean, he knows movies. He knows everything. Yeah.
Oh, he's an encyclopedia. When it comes to anything in the 80s, he is an encyclopedia. Like, him and Jacoby just used to rattle off references. Like, it was insane.
Yeah, some of my favorite memories are being on the bus with Jacoby, Ladd, your dad, and we're playing movie trivia. You know, and it's big time. You know, and that's just so much great memories. I mean, there's football memories, but it's just memories of just good guys. What about that? We talked about Ladd. What are your memories of Coach Allenbaugh?
Coach Allenbaugh is great. He's a grinder. Like, if there's one person I try to like model like kind of like my work ethic after, it's definitely him. Like, he would pour in hours and hours and hours just coaching us and trying to get us prepared for every game and every season. So like my memories of him are just as like a hard worker, and like he's super detail oriented. He can be a little harsh at times, but I think that's good for you. So.
No, I remember you because you're a nice guy. He wanted to make you tougher. He would say, "I got to get the Orinda out of you." Remember him?
Oh yeah, got to get the Orinda out. Yep. I mean,
there's a few. They moved there. Like Steph Curry lived in Orinda for a while. Ken Dorsey. I'm trying to think of a few. Tim Hardaway lived in Orinda. There's got to be a few. There's a couple guys in Orinda. Maybe not.
Yeah. So,
no, I know that's the image of Orinda, but. But for you, as I said, and also Alamo, that's the thing. He doesn't want you to. I mean, every person I've talked to, they like him afterwards. You know, when he's there, he's not there to be your friend. I mean, he's there to make you better.
Yep. I mean, I would say I liked him my senior year because, like, my junior year, I wasn't taking anything super like weight room training practice. I wasn't taking that super seriously. But after that year, during that off season, I really like kind of reflected on myself and realized, hey, I got to step my game up. I got to step my grind up basically. And I mean, during my senior year, I really appreciated like how he kind of like rode me that whole year, and it really just made me a lot better.
See, that says a lot about him, where you figured it out while you were still there, you know, and with the schedule that De La Salle plays, it has to be that way.
Yeah, it definitely has to be that way. I mean, we're playing teams like Aquinas, Bosco, Gorman, so you really got to be on your game.
Right, and that's got to help you. That's got to help you at Clemson here. And then I'm trying to think of the ACC. I mean, God willing. I mean, you get your studies done, but maybe in the spring or maybe it's 2 years from now, you can watch some pretty dynamite basketball.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of the things I was really looking forward to. I can watch a couple of Duke games, UNC games. Go to Chapel Hill, watch a couple games. It's gonna be good.
And then the lay of the land. Can you get to Chapel Hill and Duke in about an hour or less? Or
Yeah, it's like the Tobacco Road is what they call it. So it's like an hour from like each school. We're all like really close. So like NC State, UNC.
I think they call it the Research Triangle.
Yeah, the Research Triangle.
Right. I know a lot for a guy from California.
Yeah, definitely. Not a lot of people in California knew. I was kind of surprised. Knew of Wake Forest. Like a couple people knew Tim Duncan went here, Chris Paul went here, but there's a lot more than that. Like, it's a great academic institution, and the football team's really been on the rise. I mean, Clausen's done a phenomenal job with it.
Right. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. How many people did you talk to that didn't know where Wake Forest was?
Countless. I mean, there's only a couple, maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, your guys are rising. Soon, more people will know. Well, that's it. You're from Cal. Are there anybody else from California on the team?
There's one person. He went to Loyola High School down in LA.
Right. Okay. That's right. So you're the NorCal representative. He's from Southern Cal. And then are most of the players from Carolina and the South, or?
Yeah, they're all like along the Eastern Seaboard, like Jersey, Philadelphia, the South.
That's right. Jersey, exactly. People coming in from the suburban Philadelphia or across the bridge from Manhattan in northern Jersey. Okay. And I'm trying to think what else we could. I could talk to you all day. I mean, I couldn't tell you how happy I was. I'm going to send a message to Crespi, see if he wants to talk. And you were excited about this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, and then for you, school started?
It starts Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So that's why you had time to talk to me. And then what are some of the classes you were going to be taking?
I'm going to be taking European world history, econ. I'm trying to go the business route. And I'm also taking theater for the fine arts requirement.
And yeah, that's you got to do that one in person, correct? Or
actually, that one's on Zoom. A lot of my other ones are in person, but that's the one I was surprised was on Zoom.
Your roommates are probably, why is Crespi doing some acting here or something? Or when they walk in,
yeah, they're gonna see my performances. I hope they like it.
Did you do anything with that at De La Salle, or is that new?
This is new. I never took the theater class at De La Salle, so this is gonna be an experience.
That's great. And then what else? Just the atmosphere there. It's a little different because of COVID. What's the atmosphere like on campus and at Winston-Salem?
I mean, people are super, like, the difference between like the California attitude and the Southern attitude, there's a little bit of a difference there. Like, I could say politeness, like people aren't as rushed. It's kind of like more laid back. I've liked that so far. I mean, but on campus, I'd say people are happy. It looks like people are going out. I mean, I haven't been. I've been locked in here with the football team, but yeah, it's looking kind of optimistic right now.
Yeah, that's great. And also just the fact that you can play. Have you talked to people that aren't playing?
Yeah, I talked to Grant Daly the other day at Cal, and he's a little mad that the season got canceled. But yeah, it's kind of crazy what's going on with the other conferences, and I mean, I hope they can get a chance to play, but we got to see.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it all went down that day with the first the Big Ten and then the Pac-10, like an hour or two later, did they talk to you right away saying, "Hey, we're playing," or you didn't know you were playing until the next day?
I mean, they talked to us and gave us, like, they didn't really know much because the directors, the athletic directors at all the ACC schools were meeting that day to decide. And I mean, it sounded like we were going to play. I mean, they never really told us we're not going to play. It always kind of leaned on the side of we're playing. We're going to be taking this seriously with all the quarantining. As long as we kind of just follow the rules to a T, we'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, maybe that's a message you can give to everybody. The season depends upon what you're doing. I mean, the only way it happens is if they do what you're doing there. I mean, I mean, and then I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. Maybe a memory at De La Salle that's not football.
It's not football. It's kind of related to football, but like it's kind of collective memories, just like after games, just like going out to eat with the teammates, just like having fun after games is probably like the thing that really sticks out the most in my mind.
Right, that's great. And then how about a teacher that impacted you at De La Salle?
There were a lot. I mean, Mr. Harrison was up there. Mr. Boyle. My dad, I had him my first year. He was fun to have for that 1 year. There's so many to name. I can't really. I'm trying to think, but definitely Mr. Harrison, Mr. Boyle. Those are my guys.
Yeah, no. When you mention your dad, I always think of his classroom. Do you remember that it was that hot? Were you on the varsity for the game against St. Joseph's, the team that came out from DC? That hot. You might have still been coming up. I can't remember. Do you remember that night?
I was still coming up.
Okay. So no, but my memory of that night was we dressed in your or waited in your dad's classroom because they had air conditioning. Were you at that game? Do you remember how hot it was that night?
Oh yeah, no, I was at the game. I remember it was scorching.
Yeah, no, and no, that's a memory I'll always have. I'm trying to think. I just miss you. I mean, I don't want this to end. I mean, I'm trying
Yeah,
to think.
same.
Yeah, you asked me about the fires. Well, how about this? You mentioned Grant, who's at Cal. Have you talked to any of the younger guys that are still at De La Salle?
Yeah, I've been talking to the younger guys like Puckett. Let's see, Puckett, Vanderklut. I've been talking to Vandy a lot. Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of those guys, just like getting their opinions on what's happening. And I mean, I heard when their season got canceled, I really felt for them. I mean, there's not much they can do, but definitely I hope they get to play this spring.
Yeah, that's the thing. What about this? I mean, playing. It's good to be able to play in the spring, but to having playing twice in a year is. I mean, you don't want to be having concussions or drooling when you're 60 years old. You know, I mean, that's a risk, is it not?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, how the Big Ten and the Pac-12 could do this. I mean, the turnaround is going to be ridiculous on these seasons. Like it's going to be really tough to play in the next fall. I mean, they got to push it back a little bit and try and like normalize it in the years after. But it's going to be a tough turnaround if they decide to go straight in the fall.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And with the high school, there's some sort of framework in place, but the Big Ten and the Pac-10 haven't even said how it's going to be done. You know,
I mean, it just looks like they canceled and then they're figuring it out now. I mean, it feels like their plans were a little bit rushed, in my opinion, but we'll see how they do.
Right, and as I said, and we'll see how you do. And so I literally can turn the TV on, and I might see you there with the scout team. But that game will be on TV from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Clemson game. Okay, yeah, that's exciting because I've been watching. Have you been watching any of the NBA bubble?
Oh yeah, no, I've been watching a lot. Saw that Luka game winner. I mean, it's been getting intense.
Exactly. And then last night, did you see it was 50-50? Donovan Mitchell put up 50 for the Jazz, and Jamal Murray put up 50 for the Nuggets.
Yep, that was a great game. I've been watching that series. It's been great.
No, that's great. Oh, we know what I'm going to do? I'll give you the final word. I'm going to stay in touch with you. More importantly, we're going to see how long this – I mean, do you get the hair trimmed, or it's just you just no haircuts? I mean, how does this work?
I don't get it trimmed. It's just been no haircuts. I mean, I'm gonna keep growing it out. So we'll see.
That's right. Think of all the money you're saving. You know, you're a genius. So yeah, I'm jealous. I mean, I was thinking my hair is getting long. I got to get a haircut. I'm no longer close to needing to get a haircut. I'm just gonna
just saving some time and money with it.
Exactly. No, yeah, that's right. You can't trim that. You just let that grow. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll give you the final word here. Well, what would you like to say?
I mean, for all the guys who I played with, like underclassmen at De La Salle right now, keep your head up. And I mean, even though the season's canceled, this is a great time to keep working and really just like perfect your craft. So like, just keep grinding, keep lifting, keep running, keep going. Don't get down. Basically, is all I'm saying.
Right. That's the message from Crespi. Don't get down and don't get a haircut. And so
don't get a haircut.
And so no, this is great. I mean, let me pause. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed talking with you. This is wonderful. I'll pause it and then I'll talk to you a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much for this.